U.S. election night is just one away. George Magnus, senior economic advisor at UBS in London, is worried about U.S. budgetary paralysis. He is joining us now on the phone from London with his outlook for the elections and what they mean for the global economy. George, as a distinguished outsider and an economist, are you worried about the results of these elections?
Well, Deirdre, I think the main thing that concerns me really is the issue of ungovernability. And if that sounds a little bit kind of pompous, I mean, really, all I mean is that the outcome of the election may not result in any ability of a more hostile Congress and the administration to work together on budgetary matters, whether that's short-term measures for the economy or more specifically kind of a medium-term program to assure creditors that the fiscal situation will be brought under control.
So, George, if we want to be cynical, we can say government sometimes can't get things done. But you're saying if there is gridlock, if the Dems do lose the House, for example, to Republicans, even less will get done?
Yeah, I think. It may be. I suppose the politics of cooperation and of not wanting to concede too much credit to the other side, so to speak. These kinds of things actually are what I think creditors and investors and rating agencies are really most concerned about, particularly because if it comes down to a question of inertia on policy at a time when the economy is kind of languishing, then the United States obviously has escaped the wrath of investors so far for all sorts of good reasons, to be honest. But I think there's a wish or an impatience, I think, which can't be taken for granted.
So, George, do you think that if Republicans gain control of the House, for example, do we see U.S. sovereign credit valued differently?
Well, I think the idea, that I think most of us would rather not see is that the favourable view in which most people still regard U.S. government debt and U.S. government investments, that we may find that people start to lose their patience about should we be lending money to the United States government at historically low interest rates. So the idea of credit risk, which is obviously something that you will know has plagued southern European countries and a few others this year, may come to the shores of the United States in the event that that political paralysis.
How likely is a downgrade, George, on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I think the scale of 1 to 10, I think it's probably at this stage, no bigger than about a 2 or a 3, and that's because the economy at least is still growing, albeit weakly, and because I think people have been prepared to allow the political process to take its course for the moment. But of course, that could change in 2011. I don't think it's going to be any kind of immediate response, but next year would be possibly a much more sensitive year from the point of view of credit perception.
If Republicans do gain in the House, does the dollar get hit?
Well, I think in the short run, that's much more a question of what the Federal Reserve is going to announce this week. But again, lack of confidence or impatience with policy inertia in Washington, I think, would reflect badly on the dollar. I mean, for the U.S. economy, that's not such a bad thing. But of course, it does have all sorts of other unintended consequences in terms of global financial policy.
George, thanks so much for the time. George Magnus, senior economic advisor at UBS.